Hello, everybody. We're so happy to celebrate Children's Book Week. Today is Friday, November 13th, and here we are with Mandy, and we're at Story Yoga, and we're going to celebrate Children's Book Week by acting out the story, Jack and the Beanstalk. So, Mandy, can you introduce yourself and tell us if we need anything else?
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to see all your smiles. And if you want, but you don't really have to, but if you want and you have a blanket close by, if you have a blanket, then get a blanket. Something that is, very comfy. And it's only for the end. So you don't need it in between, just for the end. Okay. So now, oh yes. We're gonna do the story today, Jack and the Beanstalk. And it's one of my favorite fairy tales. So, but before we start with the story, we will get ready for the story. And today we're gonna do a very special breathing, and it's called the warrior breath. So for that, you have to stand up. All right, so stand up on your mat. Maybe you find the middle of your mat, right? And then you put your feet a little bit away from each other so they don't touch. And then maybe can you bounce your knees just a little bit? Just for a moment. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And after you finish bouncing your knees, just keep them a little bit bends, and then get your hands ready. Look like this. Put them right beside you, your elbows bent, and then you take a really deep breath in through your nose, and when you exhale out, bang, you push your fist right in front of you, and then you go back, and then you take another deep breath in, and when you exhale out, you push the hand right in front. Okay, let's do that. And take a deep breath in. Very good. This breath is going to get us ready to be strong and powerful because we're going to go on an adventure. All right, now sit down. Crisscross applesauce. And we start the story. So, once upon a time, there lived a widow, and she lived with her son, Jack, in a little house. Put your hands right beside you and make a roof over your heads. Like this. Yes, very good. And put your hands beside. They were very poor. They had one cow and one cow only. Her name was Bessie. And Bessie was making the sweetest milk every day. So every morning when Jack woke up, he had a bowl of porridge with very sweet and yummy milk. So let's make a big bowl of porridge. Put your feet together like this, right? And then we take one big spoon and we stir our porridge one way. It smells really good, but it's a little hot. So maybe you can take a deep breath in and cool it down a little bit. And then put that spoon down and take the other spoon and stir with your other spoon your porridge and take a deep breath in and blow at the porridge so it's cool enough for you to eat. Now turn to one side and get a napkin and put it right down here. And then go to the other side and get your spoon and put it right down onto the table. So Jack was leaning over and he was eating the sweetest and nicest porridge. So hold on to your feet, lean forward and eat your porridge. One morning, Jack woke up and he came to the kitchen, cross your legs again. And there was no porridge on the table. So put your hands to the side and then lean over one side. And he reached into the cupboard to find some milk, but there was no milk. Now we lean over to the other side. He looked into the other cupboard, but there was no milk either. And then his mom came in and she said, there is no more milk. Bessie, the cow, is not making any more milk. The cat came into the kitchen. She was looking for milk. Come onto your hands and your knees and then make a really round back like a kitty cat. And maybe you can make the sound like a cat, like this. Meow, meow. And Bessie was looking through the window. Come into a cow pose. Lift your head. Drop your belly down. Ooh, she said. There was no milk for the cat, for Jack, or for the mother. So the mother decided that Jack had to go to the market to sell Bessie. So the mother said, go to the market, Jack, and make sure you get a good price for our Bessie, because this is all we have left. Now, come onto your hands and your knees, and then slide one foot forward, like this, and put your hands onto your hips. And Jack and Bessie were walking along the road, like this. And then switch to the other side. Put your hands down, put the other foot forward, hold onto your hips, and move your hips forward. They were walking a long way, and they were walking past a field with lots and lots of flowers. Come back onto your crisscross applesauce, and then put your feet together like this, and then slide one hand underneath your leg and hold onto your foot, and then the other one right underneath, and lift up your feet and make a big, beautiful flower. There were hundreds of them, and they looked so pretty, and they smelled so good. It was a beautiful day. Suddenly, right by the road, there was this man sitting. He was a peddler. Put your feet together and hold onto your feet again. And he said, Jack, where are you going to? And Jack scratched his head. How did that man know his name? He looked and he looked and he thought, he looked a little bit strange, but the man was actually very nice. And he said, Jack, where are you off to? And Jack said, I have to go and sell a cow. Come onto your knees and come onto your hands and give me one more cow pose, Bessie. So drop the belly, lift your head, and we can say moo all together. Oh, said the peddler, I think I have a good idea. I have something that I can give you for your beautiful cow. And he reached into his pockets. So come onto your belly, and we're going to reach into our pockets. So slide your hands underneath like this, and stretch your legs out behind you, and then bend one knee. And can you catch your foot behind you? Yes! Hold on to that foot. That looks awesome, guys. He was looking in one pocket. Push your foot into the hand and then come slowly back. And now look into the other pocket. So bend the other leg and hold on to that foot. Oh, there they were. He found, come back onto your knees and back into crisscross applesauce. He found in his pocket 5 magic beans, and he hold them in your hands. And Jack was looking into those hands and he saw those beans and he said, "Beans? For my cow Bessie? No, you must be joking. I cannot exchange beans for my cow." But the peddler said, "Jack, those are magic beans." And when Jack looked at the beans, he saw how they were shimmering and how they were glittering, and they had some magic light about them. And Jack suddenly didn't want anything else, but only those magic beans. He said, "Yes, deal is done." And the peddler gave him the magic beans. And Jack said, "Thank you very much. And here is the cow." He was skipping all the way home. Come up to standing, and we start skipping all the way home. He could not wait to tell his mom that he had magic beans. He was the luckiest boy in the whole world. Magic beans, think of that. He came home and he opened the door of the little house. So come onto your knees and then hold onto your arms and open up the door. And then slowly bring your arms right beside. Said the mother, "There you are. I'm so glad you came back from the market so fast. How much money did you get for the cow?" Jack said, "No, Mom, I did not sit on your knees. I did not get any money. But look at this. I got magic beans." The mom said, "You got what?" And Jack said, "Magic beans, look at them." And the mother took those beans and she said, "There are no magic beans, Jack. Now we have no money and you have to go to bed without any supper." And she threw the magic beans out of the window. Throw them out of the window. Throw them out of the window. Throw them out. Oh, Jack was really, really sad, and he was ashamed. Put your feet right in front and your hands behind you, and he went to bed very, very sad and very hungry. So now we make a bad pose. So lift your hips all the way up. So now Jack woke up. It was in the morning and he could hear the birds singing. So put your arms around and we make a Tweety bird pose. Yes, I see that. That looks really good. Open the arms to the side and then switch to the other side and make some Tweety birds. Yeah, very good. But he looked outside the window and he could not see anything. It was so dark in his room. Where was the sunlight? So he went out the door and there was his mother. She said, "Jack, look at this." Stand up, everybody. So they were looking out the window and there was this huge beanstalk that grew out of the ground all the way up to the sky. So put your hands onto your hips and then put one foot on top of the other. And then for just a moment, close your eyes and imagine roots growing into the ground. And Jack looked up and the beanstalk was growing all the way up into the sky. He could not see the end, for the end of the beanstalk disappeared inside the clouds. Bring your hands all the way back onto your hips and switch to the other side. That beanstalk was so big that you could walk around it And it took probably a minute. Now, push your feet down into the ground. Imagine again those roots, all the way down into the earth. And then imagine again growing your beanstalk all the way up into the clouds. That's how high that beanstalk was. Oh, Jack could not believe his eyes. He rubbed his hands, rub your hands really, really, really fast, and then put them over your eyes. He could not believe it. Look again, oh my goodness, yes, this is a beanstalk. The man was right. Those were magic beans. So he said to his mother, I've got to climb up there. I need to see what is up there. So get your hands onto your hips and we are ready to march. Lift your knees all the way up and then climb with your arms all the way up. Climb and climb and climb and climb. That boy was climbing for a whole day. He could not believe it. It was not stopping. But one moment he was surrounded by clouds. He could not see anything anymore. Come all the way down. And then suddenly, in between the clouds, he could see rocks. Come into a rock pose. Onto your knees, sit down and make yourself rock. Yes. And he could see mountains in the clouds. Come all the way up again. Put your feet together. Open your arms like this and become a very tall and very still mountain. You are solid, still, and really, really big. And then, right in the middle of the mountains, the rocks, and the clouds, he could see a castle. Open your feet wide as you can, and turn your feet out. Put your hands onto your hips and then bend your knees. We're going to make a castle pose. And then lift your arms all the way up. There was the biggest castle he ever saw. And suddenly, his belly grumbled. He was very hungry. He realized he hadn't eaten all day and he was starving. So he went to this big castle and he saw a big door. The door was the tallest door he had ever seen. Come onto your knees. And he knocked on the door 3 times. Sit down and just knock on the floor. 1, 2, 3, and stand back up. The door opened. Put your leg to the side. Put your hand onto the door and lift your arm all the way up. The door opened very, very slowly. And come back. And right there, let's open the door a little bit more. Stretch out the other leg. Put your other hand onto the leg. Lift your arm all the way up. And open that door a little bit more because Jack could not believe his eyes again. Close your door and stand up again because there was the tallest giantess, the tallest woman you ever saw. Now, put one foot in the front and one in the back and you become a really tall woman, a giantess. So you bend your front knee and you lift your arms all the way up. Oh, that's how tall she was? Wow! Now step forward and step the other foot back. Bend your front knee and lift your arms all the way up. Whoa! Jack said, you are the tallest woman I have ever seen. Oh, said the giantess, wait until you see my husband, the ogre. You should better run away. My husband does not like visitors. Said Jack, but I am so hungry. Would you have something to eat for me? Oh, she said, I have this big, big pot of porridge on the fire for my husband. When he comes home, he's always very hungry. But I can give you something. But you better eat it fast before my husband comes home. So put your feet together like this. Sit down. And Jack went over and he ate that porridge. He gobbled the porridge up. So hold on to your feet and lean forward and make a gobbling noise. Oh, that felt really good. His empty belly was empty no more. But then he could hear big, big banging noises. So sit back and do this. Oh, the table started shaking. Stand up onto your hands and your feet, and then become into a table. So now stretch out one arm and one leg, and you can even wobble a little bit. The table was shaking. Now switch the other side. Stretch out your left arm and your right leg. Whoa, the table was shaking more. The ogre wife said, come quick and hide over there in the cupboard. Because if my husband sees you, I cannot guarantee that you will survive. The ogre came into the kitchen. Stand all the way up and hold on to your feet. And we're gonna clump, 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 clump. And the cupboard door was a little bit open, so Jack could peek out. And he was looking through that little tiny opening. And he saw the biggest ogre, the biggest person he had ever seen. That ogre did not look friendly, and he had this big sack of all the things that he stole and robbed. He had this big sack, and he had a big, big wooden club in his hand. So hold on to your hip first, and then maybe hold on to your foot. Pretend that this is the big bag with the treasures inside. And then hold that big wooden club all the way up into the sky. Very good, guys. Are you wobbling? That's okay. I'm wobbling too. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So now hold on to that big bag of treasure like this. And then hold that wooden club all the way up. Oh, he looked grim and he looked evil. And he walked into the kitchen and he said, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. The wife said, oh no, Ogre, you just didn't clean your feet. Did you wipe your feet before you came into the door? Who knows what you stepped into? Oh, said the ogre, okay. And he went outside and he wiped his feet. Wipe your feet. All right. And then sit back down. Because she said, don't worry about the smell. I have some sweet oatmeal for you, some sweet porridge. So now the ogre was stretching his legs out wide and flex your feet, right? And then put your hands right in the middle and you lean forward because you're going to eat that nice porridge. And maybe you can lean all the way forward and eat your porridge. He rubbed his belly one way and he rubbed his belly the other way. That was really good. Then he said to his wife, bring me my gold. Oh, the wife brought all the bags of gold over to the ogre. And the lions. Lie on your belly, bend your knees, hold on one foot, hold on to the other foot, and then lift your knees and your shoulders off the floor. That was the biggest bag of gold. Roll down and stretch your legs out. Push your hands underneath your shoulders and push back and make yourself as small as a mouse. That's what Jack did in the cupboard. He was hiding, but he saw all the gold that the ogre stole from so many people. He said, if we would have just one bag of gold come back to Crisscross Applesauce, then we would not be hungry anymore. We could buy all the food we wanted. So when the ogre was finished counting all his gold, he got very tired and he fell asleep on the table. So lie back and maybe you can even make an ogre snoring noise like this. Shh. 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 Then roll onto your side and come back up because Jack opened the cupboard and he tiptoed very, very silently. Come onto your tippy toes and be very, very quiet. Don't make a noise. Do not wake up that ogre. Shh. He walked over and he took the biggest bag he could carry. And he put it over his shoulder and he started to run outside the door really, really, really fast. And then he climbed down the big beanstalk. Climb again. Now climbing down. All the way down. It took again a whole day to climb down from the beanstalk. And now cross your legs and your arms in front of you and see if you can sit down without using your hands. Ooh. Oh, wow. His mother could not believe her eyes. There was so much gold in that bag, and they lived very happy for a long time. And they were not hungry for a long time. But one day, there was no more gold in the bag. And Jack thought, I want to climb up that beanstalk again. See what happens next. He went out and he climbed again, all the way up. He climbed again, come all the way up and stand and climb up that beanstalk. And again, he climbed for a whole day. He saw the clouds passing by, and again he came to see this big castle. Open up your feet wide, lift your arms to the side and make the elbows bend, and then bend your knees. Whoa, there was again the big castle. It looked so fantastic, standing in between all those clouds. And then come all the way back up. And he went to the big door. And he thought to himself, I better change my voice. Maybe the ogre woman will not recognize me. So he prepped himself up and he looked like a warrior. So come into a warrior pose. So one knee in the front and you bend the knee and the back foot is, the back knee is straight. And then lift your arms all the way up. Can you do that? A little bit like a surfer. Whoa. And he practiced his warrior voice. He said, hello, hello, giantess, how are you? Maybe I have to practice again, he said. So he changed his feet, he bent the other knee and he lifted his arms, turn over, and again he practiced. He said, good day, milady, how are you? Yeah, that sounded very different from what he usually would say. and how you would sound. So bring your hands back together and heel toe your way back together. Oh, he said, I'm knocking on the door. Sit back down and you knock on the door again 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that door opened again. Put one arm all the way up and open the door. Oh, come all the way back. There she was again, the big giant peasant. She said, hello. How are you? Where are you coming from? You don't look like you're from around here. And Jack said with his deep voice, no, madam, I'm not from around here, but I had a long journey and I'm hungry. Would you have some food to spare for me? She said, last time I did that, somebody stole my husband's gold. I should not let you in again. But then again, okay, you sound very different. I don't have my glasses on. I let you in. So she let him in and she closed the door. So lift your arm and go to the other side and come all the way back down. Now, this time in the kitchen, there was this big cauldron full of stew. It smelled so good. Put your feet together like in butterfly pose, right? And then again, we lean forward and we eat that beautiful, beautiful stew. So lean forward and you can start eating. Whoa, that tasted really, really good. And again, the same thing happened. He could hear the loudest noise. And he could hear the ogre coming in. Hold on to your feet. And we start clump, 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 clump. And the chair that Jack was sitting on was shaking as well. So sit down deep, lift your arms all the way up, and maybe shake your legs a little bit. Wow! Everything was shaking in the house because that big ogre came in and he had again his big club and his big sack with stolen things inside. Hold on to your foot and reach up to the sky. Yes, I know, that's a wobbly one. Oh, wow. Now, switch to the other side. Hold on to that big bag of stolen things and lift your arms or your one arm all the way up and hold that wooden club. Whoa. And he said the same thing. He smelled around. 3, 5, 4. I smell the blood of an Englishman. His wife said, oh, there is no smell. You just smell that stinky cheese in the cupboard. Said the ogre. Cheese, my eye. No, I smell something. She said, come on, sit down. I have that beautiful stew for you. So now, sit out again. Open your legs. Now, we bend one knee in, and then we lean forward, and that ogre was hungry. Stealing all day long makes you hungry, right? So lean forward and start eating your stew. And then do the same thing on the other side because he got a second big plate of stew. Stretch the other leg out, bend one knee, and then we lean forward again. Ooh, can you touch the floor with your arms or with your hands maybe? Whatever you can do, try. And then we eat that stew. The ogre was all finished. And Jack, who the ogre wife had hidden in the oven, peeked out, waiting for his chance to escape, or maybe to see something magical again. And the ogre said, wife, bring me my hen. And the ogre wife went out and brought in this beautiful white hen. Put your hands onto your waist. Maybe move your arms like chicken wings. Maybe you can make a sound like a chicken. Can you do that? And the ogre said to the hen, hen, lay an egg. Jack could not believe his eyes because right in front of him, that chicken laid a golden egg. Now, sit on your sit bones, put your hands underneath your knees, and roll like a ball or like a golden egg. Now roll back and sit back up. And roll back and sit back up. Roll back and sit back up. Oh, Jack thought, if I would have that hen, we would have no worries anymore. We would have gold to the end of days. He waited until that ogre got tired and the ogre was lying down, sleeping again. Can you lie down and make that snoring noise? Shh. 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 Oh, bring one knee into the chest and then the other, and then maybe rock yourself up into that egg pose again. Whoa. Jack was crouching in the corner. Now come on to your feet and put your hands right in between, like in a frog pose. Right? Jack was waiting for the right moment. And just when the ogre's head fell onto the table because he was sleeping so deeply, Jack got ready. After 3, we jump up into the air. 1, 2, 3, and jump! And he took the hen under his arm and he ran outside all the way to that big beanstalk. And he started climbing down, climb again, that beanstalk. He looked back, but there was nobody. That ogre was sound asleep. He came down to his mother's house, crisscross applesauce, hands to the side, and make again that big, nice house pose. And the mother saw the chicken, and she's like, Jack, a chicken? That is very nice, but then Jack said, hen, lay an egg. And there was again a golden egg lying on the table. Let's do one more golden egg. Roll back and come back up. Let's do it again. Roll back and run back up. That's fun. Great. So they again were very happy. But, you know, when something exciting is happening, maybe you want that to happen again. So Jack could not stop thinking about that beanstalk and the adventures he had up there. So one day, again, he decided to climb up that beanstalk one more time. Let's get ready. For the last time, we climb up that beanstalk. Yes, big steps, climb all the way up. He saw the big eagle flying right beside. So come onto one foot and lift your leg behind. Maybe you can fly around. He saw the eagle flying through the clouds. Oh, he had never seen anything more beautiful. And then he saw a big white owl flying through the clouds. That was some sight. Or he would never forget that. And there again, open up your feet, was that big, beautiful castle. It was shimmering in the sky and it was twinkling and it looked fantastic. All right, so he knocked on the door one more time. Sit back down and knock on the door. 1, 2, 3. And there was Mrs. Ogre again. And she said, "Did I not see you before?" And Jack said with a very high-pitched voice, "No, you have never seen me before." You do not sound like the fella that was here before. And you do not sound like the fella that was here before that one. "No, I have never met you before in my life," he said. "All right," said the ogress. "I let you come in. What do you want anyway?" "Oh," Jack said, "I am so hungry." She said, "Okay, come in. I have a big pot of soup. Stretch your legs out all the way and then sit really tall and look at your toes. And maybe you can twinkle your toes and curl your toes like fire in the fireplace." And there he could see a big pot with a huge lid on it, and he could smell a really nice soup. Now lift your arms all the way up and cover that big pot. And the big giantess opened that big pot, and the big steam came out and filled the whole kitchen with the most delicious smell. And he really wanted to eat some of that delicious soup. So now, put your feet together again, but we eat a little differently now. We're gonna put one hand underneath the leg, look like this. Can you do that? And then slide the other hand underneath. Can you wave with both hands? Oh, this is how we eat in turtle pose, right? So start folding forward and we eat. Oh, yes, that was delicious. But he heard the footsteps again. And this time, the whole castle was shaking all the way up. Stand up really, really tall, and then open up your feet like this, like the big castle. Come back down, lift your arms, and the whole castle was shaking from one side to the other. And then hold on to your feet because the big ogre came in. Plump, 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 plump. He came into the kitchen, put your hands onto your hips, and he lifted his nose, and he said, "B, 5, 4, Thumb, I smell the blood of an Englishman." "Again," said his wife, "you are driving me crazy with this. There is no bad smell in here. Just sit down. I clean the whole house and eat my soup." Okay, that's what the ogre did. You better listen to your wife when she's cooking and cleaning the kitchen. So now stretch your legs back out. Actually, no, you know what? We use those spoons again. So cross your legs again. Yes, sit really tall, like somebody is pulling you all the way up, and grab your spoon. Lift your spoon and stir it again. Oh, the soup was so, so hot. Take a deep breath in. Take the other spoon again. And then the ogre was eating. Take one spoon again, and then hold that spoon all the way up. Can you do that? Can you wiggle with your spoon toes? And then the other side. Can you hold on to your foot like this? To your leg? Hold your spoon and wiggle with those little toes. Very good. And then slowly bring it down. Oh, the ogre was filled with hot soup. He ate 1, 2, 3, 4 big plates that were like lakes when Jack looked at them. So big were those plates. And of course, then he said to his wife, "Wife, bring me my hop." Jack thought, "A hop? All right, a hop." So now, when you cross your legs like this, take the one leg that is right in front and hold on to your foot with both hands. And then we make a hop. We stretch the leg out. See that? Yes, and this looks a little bit like a hop. And he said to the hop, "Play." Wow, the harp played the most beautiful music Jack had ever heard. She played beautiful, beautiful lullabies and very funny and exciting jigs. And she played everything that you could imagine, and it sounded so sweet. And suddenly the ogre's head was falling down, and he was falling asleep. Now stretch out the other side of your leg, hold on to your foot with both hands, and stretch the other leg all the way out, and make a hop on the other side. Oh, Jack was hiding behind one of the pots, and he was looking at the harp, and he thought to himself, "If I travel the whole world with this instrument, with this magical harp, I would be the happiest man, and I would make such an earning from this. I would be rich forever. I would never be hungry again." He looked at the harp and thought, "Yes, you are mine. So put your foot back down." And he came out from behind the pots, start tiptoeing very, very quietly. He tiptoed towards the hump. Now, come into a different hump pose, okay? So put one foot forward, one foot back, bend your knee, lift both arms, and lift one arm up and put the other hand behind you. Whoa, guys, awesome. Now, let's do the same thing on the other side. So turn that foot out, and then bend that knee, and then lift your arms up, like in sofa pose again. And then lift one arm up and put the other one behind you, reach up high. So when he came over to the harp, he grabbed the harp and he wanted to run away. But in the middle of his first couple of steps, the harp shouted, "Master! Master!" Oh, he didn't know the harp could speak and shout. The harp got afraid when Jack grabbed her. So the ogre woke up, come all the way down, and we jumped up after 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! I knew there was a thief in this house. I knew it. And he ran after Jack, but he was a very slow runner because his belly was filled with soup, with 1, 2, 3, 4 big plates of soup. So he was very slow, and he sounded like plump, 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 plump. And there was Jack, and he was running really, really fast. And he started climbing down that beanstalk, and he looked up, and he could see the giant the ogre was following him. He got faster and faster, and when he saw his mother's house, he shouted down, "Mom, bring the axe." His mother ran inside the house, and she got the big axe ready. Put your hands together like this, open up your feet. And when Jack hit the ground, he grabbed the axe and he started chopping into the beanstalk. 1 and 2 and 3. And that big beanstalk fell slowly but surely, and the giant ogre was never seen again. But Jack and his mom lived happily ever after in this small cottage with a hen that laid golden eggs and a harp that played the sweetest music and made many people very, very happy. So now it's time for us to get that blanket. And if you don't have a blanket, that's okay. We're just gonna lie down for our resting pose. Okay, so if you have a blanket, there's a couple of things you can do with your blanket. Look, you can put the blanket just on your belly, like I do. But you can also, if you have a very big blanket, you can put the blanket over your feet and over your belly, and you can lie down and you can slowly, slowly close your eyes, and you can try to breathe very slow in through the nose and out through the nose, and try to get all your wiggles out. And try not to move as much anymore. Become very, very quiet, as if you fall asleep. And then just let your thoughts go by. Try not to worry about anything, and just relax. Breathe and melt into your mat. Relax your fingers and your toes and your face. And then just think or imagine you are standing on a big green field. And you look up into the sky, and this sky is blue, and you can see a couple of clouds floating by. And one of the clouds is slowly floating down, and it comes floating down closer and closer to you. And it looks fluffy and comfortable. And you lie down on that cloud. You look up into the sky, and the cloud slowly starts floating. It starts floating up towards the trees, and it floats over the trees into the blue sky. And you feel safe. And this cloud feels so comfortable and soft and fluffy. You can hear the birds singing. You can smell grass and sweet flowers. And then you can look up into the sky and you see other clouds coming. And these clouds look as fluffy and comfortable as the one that you are lying on. And you can see one cloud is changing its form into your favorite animal. It makes you smile. It makes you happy. And then the cloud floats away. And there's another cloud floating by. And that cloud changes into your favorite toy. It looks exactly like your favorite toy. just made out of a cloud. And then that cloud floats away. And suddenly another cloud comes slowly, gently floating by. And that cloud turns into someone that you really, really like. Your favorite person. And that makes you smile. It makes you happy. And then that cloud slowly and gently floats by. And then suddenly you feel that your light and fluffy cloud slowly and gently floats back down towards the earth, towards the grass. And you step off your fluffy cloud and you say thank you to the cloud. That was nice. And you see that cloud floating back up into the sky, slowly and gently. And then you start very slowly and gently, like a little fluffy cloud. You wiggle your fingers and you wiggle your toes. And then you stretch your legs and you stretch your arm, just like in the morning when you wake up. And then you bend one knee and then the other, and you roll onto the side and you come up into crisscross applesauce. Yes, I can see it. And then bring your hands in front of your chest. And we're going to say namaste. After 3, all together. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you.